What's up, everybody? Welcome to Strange Vault. This is our weekly live stream with me and Dr. Strange, where we talk about the paranormal activity going on. What's up, Dr. Strange?
What's going on, bro?
Make sure you mute the YouTube on your end. Make sure you mute your
Yeah,
YouTube, or
I
there'll be an
got it. I
echo.
got it.
All right, all
Yep,
right.
I'm good.
But let's go. All right, we got lots of videos we want to check out. Dr. Strange has some videos he wants to check out. I've got some storylines I want to check out, and it's kind of like the new news that's going on in the UFO community right now. And it's this guy who's a whistleblower who's in the intelligence agency, the U.S. intelligence agency, high up. We were trying to figure out his name so we can investigate him. I think that's what we're going to be doing today, because it's kind of strange here that this guy is only on this one network. It's on News Nation. We were talking about earlier, and I tweeted about how Tucker Carlson was pointing out how none of the other news organizations are talking about this at all, which makes me wonder, are they doing that on purpose, or do they not believe that this guy is legit? So let's check out his interview that just came out on News Nation. We're going to try to find his name if they show it on the screen, and then we'll try to do some research, see if this guy's legit, and if so, it's some pretty crazy stuff that he's talking about. So let's check that out right now.
Sat down with investigative journalist Ross Coulthart, who is reporting for News Nation on the bombshell whistleblower complaint filed with Congress and the Intelligence Community Inspector General. According to the complaint, in July 2021, Mr. Grush confidentially provided UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena related classified information, to the Department of Defense Inspector General. At that time, Mr. Grush communicated classified information about the improper withholding and or concealment of classified material from the U.S. Congress by certain IC elements. News Nation has confirmed Grush's credentials, but he says he can't show us the proof of the alien craft for national security reasons. In a somewhat frightening revelation, Grush claims the non-human species may not be friendly.
I've been told that there have been attempts to bring down craft, that we've acted offensively against non-human craft.
There have been instances, and there are certain techniques.
Have human beings been hurt or killed by a non-human intelligence?
While I can't get into the specifics because that would reveal certain U.S. classified operations, I was briefed by a few individuals on the program that there were malevolent events like that.
Grush says he has to be careful about providing.
All right, so they said that they verified his information. We see his name pop up right there, so maybe we can look him up. David Grush. Dr. Strange, have you been hearing about this, and what do you know about it?
Yeah, I mean, I heard about this particular newscast here before. You know, I don't know what to make of it. What do you make of it?
I mean, I don't like the fact that nobody else is talking about it, but it says, I was checking out the debrief here. It's a National Reconnaissance Officer. He served as the Reconnaissance Office's representative to the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force. And I know I've heard his story, and the story is that he hasn't actually seen anything himself, but he has people that are high up, like multiple times, that told him that it was happening, and then he somehow got some type of classified information, some documents that proves that it's happening, and that he already gave it to Congress, but because it's classified, we don't know what that is. And Tucker Carlson seems to think it's legit, but who believes Tucker Carlson? I'm not a big Tucker Carlson fan, so that really doesn't do much for me. However, if it is found that he's legit, I mean, how else can we find out that he's legit? We can't go in and see, is he really intelligence agency? We got him as LinkedIn right here. See what LinkedIn says about him. David Grush, CS at BSI. And that really doesn't tell us anything at all. So, I mean, is this guy legit?
There's no picture there, so that may not even be him.
That's true. David Charles Grush here. It is a veteran and former member of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. I mean, I don't think everybody would be saying that if it wasn't true. So he's got to be legit, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think these dudes end up on TV without these news broadcasts doing their due diligence first to make sure they're legit.
Yep. Skeptics would say that it's maybe some dude that's just doing this so that he can write books and get appearance fees and make some extra money, and he's just making the whole story up. But, I mean, apparently he's got confidential information that he's given to Congress. But what if it was just some mumbo jumbo he made up and he gave it to Congress? It's not like Congress would tell us that, so he could say that he gave Congress this information that proves that they're UFOs, and then again, he could just be a big scammer. But what kind of scammer actually works for the for such high level in the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. So he's probably legit, I guess. I'm trying to work through it right now. What do you think? Is this guy legit?
I mean, I don't see the scam when you have nothing at the end of the rainbow to sell. It's not like this guy has a book or anything out right now. But he's like, everything's in my tell-all book.
Yet. He might though one day. What's up, JB? What's up, Evolved Collects? We got Alejandro here. I see Random Hero, Bruin88. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. We're going to be talking about UFOs. We got a few more I want to talk about. What's up, Alejandro? Says, look up the Soviet Union discovers aliens in the deepest lake in the world. I want to check out all the stuff that you guys see in the chat, too. I want to check out some videos that Dr. Strange wants to go through as well. We got plenty to go through. The one that I showed earlier during my live stream, if you guys weren't watching that, that'd be a good one to show real quick. I got it listed to go through, and the reason I want to show this one is because before we even do that, there's a
Seresto offers 8 continuous.
Sorry, we have to get through all these commercials. There's a pilot, a Navy pilot, who says that he sees these things all the time off the coast of Virginia. He seems very credible. He's got a little tiny quick interview. We'll watch his interview, and then I'll show you a video of exactly what he's talking about. Which you put those two things together, then it just kind of seems like these people are legit. They're not lying, but you be the judge. Check it out.
Now, Lieutenant Ryan Graves was the first U.S. active duty Navy fighter pilot to testify before Congress about his experience witnessing UFOs. Lieutenant, good morning. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you. So can you describe some of your own experiences with UFOs?
Certainly. As an F-18 pilot, we were flying off the coast of Virginia Beach, and we were almost on a daily basis seeing on our radar, on our cameras, and with our eyeballs, objects that weren't supposed to be there. We were seeing dark gray or black cubes inside of clear spheres that were operating anywhere from stationary, zero airspeed, even in the wind, all the way.
There you go. He says he sees dark cubes flying around every day off the coast of Virginia. And then you see this video right here. This is a pilot who's up 30,000 feet in the air, and this is what he documented with his phone.
What he is on a routine flight soaring over Medellin, Colombia. Little does the captain know he's about to find out he's sharing the friendly skies.
The pilot does us the favor of showing his altimeter, and we can see that he's flying around 30,000 feet in altitude.
The pilot then points his camera phone out of the cockpit window, and watch this as he zooms in. A metallic-looking object, a polyhedron of some sort, whizzes by in a straight line. We slow it down and zoom in further. You can see it kind of looks like a cube.
It has these kind of little points that stick out. It does seem to be darker in color and not like a bright, shiny.
So these are some of the newer UFO sightings that have been going on recently that people are talking about. There's one more that out of the Middle East that is crazy. They talked about this on a NASA panel. I don't know if Dr. Strange, you saw the NASA panel that they just did, I think 7 days ago, and they were talking about the investigations they've done so far. And they're going to be talking about this UFO that they saw in the Middle East. It's a sphere that they caught on camera. And when you get around to about right here, you'll see this is a meeting that they did with NASA where they're talking about all the phenomenon that they've looked at. Of course, only like 2% or 1% is unexplained, but when they get into that 2%, they say that they keep seeing these orbs everywhere. They'll say that at the end here, and then I'll show you a better video of that.
The thing that we see most of. We see these. This is a typical example of the thing that we see most of. We see these all over the world, and we see these in making very interesting apparent maneuvers.
And that's straight up NASA right there. So I'm going to show you a better video of that real quick, and then I'm going to take it to Dr. Strange and see what he thinks these spheres are, because this is what they keep seeing everywhere. Why does everybody see these spheres everywhere? And what are they? Are they actually extraterrestrial? Is this some type of drone?
A Pentagon official revealed today that the U.S. government is investigating more than 600 potential UFO sightings. CBS's David Martin reports newly declassified video shows one flying object that has experts baffled.
An American military drone conducting surveillance in the Middle East. Suddenly, an unidentified object zips in and out of frame. Slow it down, and it appears to be a metallic sphere. But where it came from and what it was doing remain a mystery to the Pentagon.
So that's where I'm at. That's all the stuff that I've been keeping my eye on lately. Last 48 hours, I went from like 85 to 90% convinced that there were UFOs that were extraterrestrial to now I'm like 95 to 99%. Dr. Strange, what do you think these orbs are all about?
I think they're all of the above. Anything you could think of, that's probably what they are. I wish I had known we were going to get into the spheres, because I could have given you some videos that shows you spheres that are falling out the sky in indigenous countries, and they've taken pictures of them. One was actually recently last month, and the ball actually wasn't metallic. It had like patterns on it. It was like almost like a clay type of color, like an orange to brown color, different patterns in it. And so we don't know if, a ball like that at nighttime lit up and actually working just looks like one of those crazy balls people see in the sky, or, and then we got these metallic balls too. So I think that a lot of these are, of earthly origin, and I think some of them are not. I think it's just all the above. Whatever you think could be, probably is.
Yeah, I think it's possible that they're of earthly origin because they don't do anything that's like super out of this world. They're not flying at unreasonable speeds. But how do you make a circle fly? I don't know how they do it.
Oh, yes, they are. I got videos that'll show you they are flying at ridiculous speeds.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I have somewhere, like in Switzerland, this guy has, camera pointed on his farmland, and there's one that rose out of the forest from far away and then zooms past the camera, like past his property and everything. And I mean, you could see it accelerate at a rate that's, it's not normal. And then there's other ones too that have been captured by Department of Homeland Security. You could look those up. And these objects are going in and out of the water and not changing speed, to where they basically have some sort of force field around them that creates their own.
I've seen a couple of them where they've gone into the water and came out. I saw one recently where it split into two. If you have any links to videos in particular on YouTube, let me know. I saw you sent me some for Instagram, but those are hard to blow up because they won't let me zoom in on those.
Right.
There's a lot of people complain that people are able to edit videos a lot easier now. So a lot of times I like to go back and look at the older UFO videos before people were doing a lot of editing. And there's one that I always liked because I thought it was really convincing because it's from 1993. It's from this city in Florida called Redfish. And it's this couple that was sleeping or fell asleep on the beach. And when they woke up in the morning, there was this weird thing hovering, like taking pictures of them. But it was there for apparently over an hour. And he says he has a video that's over an hour long. And if I ever saw the whole entire video, I'd be super convinced. But I've only seen like 13-second clips and 11-second clips. But it's like this thing that was out there floating around, and it's 1993. You could tell it's not edited. If I saw the full video, I'd be convinced. But even with that 13 seconds, it looks pretty crazy.
You should just look up Gulf Breeze.
I wonder where these big ideas.
Videos were shot at the same time, and if you know the location, those locations are very close together. So look up Gulf Breeze, because the same guy, not the same guy that shot these, but the guy that shot the Gulf Breeze, like, bro, same situation, home camcorder, numbers running in the bottom, insane stuff. Yeah, there's one of them you just passed at the top. Right, nah. What did you put in the search?
Gulf Breeze, Florida UFO.
Let me see. Go back up to your search. Let me see what you put in.
Gulf Breeze, Florida UFO. This one's from 1988. I wonder what that's all about. But
that's the one right there.
Okay, let's check it out. From 12 years ago. And the stuff that's like old school like that really is more interesting to me.
Not that one. I don't even know who that is. Right? It was the other one. The other one where it looks like the UFO. Oh yeah, that's some of the
that's an unidentified flying object. These pictures, taken over a 6-month period in Gulf Breeze, Florida, are the most spectacular evidence of UFOs ever gathered. While some say the photos are fakes, that would not explain the fact that more than 20 people have reported seeing these objects on the very same nights. Charles Summerby describes what he saw in the skies.
No sound. There was no veering. It was a straight course. And halfway out over the bay, and so I've never seen anything like that. There were portholes. We saw portholes of light coming out of the portholes.
The man who took these pictures insists on remaining anonymous, so we'll call him Jim. We had a narrator read a transcript of our interview. Jim says his most threatening encounter with the UFOs occurred on this road. He says an object swooped over his car and sent out a beam of light.
And it came through the windshield, hit my exposed arms, and turned my skin to like it was asleep, but even worse. And then you don't have any feeling at all. I proceeded to panic.
Forced off the road, Jim fumbled with the camera, managing to snap this one dramatic picture. A noted optical physicist calculated the object was hovering about 3 feet off the ground. Photography experts say such a picture would be virtually impossible to fake.
Shooting out of the windshield of the car, through the windshield of the car, and being able to reproduce this object down the road, reflecting on...
Plus, it's like some 80-year-old, 90-year-old dude. He don't know how to edit that photo. So, I mean, this one seems pretty legit, even though it's just a picture. But it's 1988. People didn't have cell phones back then. So, stuff like that's pretty convincing to me as well.
Oh, I mean, if you want to get into just throwing something on and it being super old before digital manipulation and it being incredible, I mean, look into Billy Meyer. This guy only has one arm, and he was a photographer and stuff, but he just lived in Switzerland. You know, but his story is crazy, bro. It's MEIER.
Yeah. He had like tons and tons of photos, didn't he?
Oh yeah. He got photos. He got photos stolen from him, but he still has. Look up Bob Winters, Billy Myers, because there's a video where, Bill Winters. Bill Winters.
Bill, I don't know why I said Bob. Bob, same thing to me.
Nah, it's not gonna come up.
Okay.
You have to specific these
Bill
videos.
Winters,
This is what
Billy
I'm saying.
Meyer.
Like my video library is crazy, bro. If I was to really, there's a video where you'll see him standing in front of one of those old school TV carts like you used to have in school when they would show you a thing, and he's going through a photo collection of Billy Myers' photo album.
Oh yeah.
Like and it's insane stuff, bro. He got pictures of dinosaurs. Because they took him on a craft and he went back in time technically. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I'm not sure what that video is. If you got any links, you can send me the links and I can pull them up.
Put in Billy Winters.
Billy Winters. All right.
Yeah.
Billy Winters, Billy Meyer.
Right.
This one right here, possibly.
Or take out Billy of Winters in front of Winters. I mean, no, it's not that. No, it's gonna be a guy like a suit on, standing in front of. He's giving a lecture, so the thumbnail is like.
I'm gonna look up Middle Earth people in the chat. I think it was C Spill wanted to see what the Middle Earth people was. We'll check that out, see what that's all about. I don't think I've ever heard of Middle Earth people. Do you know anything about the Middle Earth people, Dr. Strange?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard stuff of. This is really where the legends of like leprechauns even come from. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of that stuff all traces back to Europeans traveling to Africa and coming across the pygmy tribe. They're some of the shortest, smallest humans in existence. They're like 3 foot tall. And so a lot of the early depictions, you'll see it started off with the pygmies and then it changed to this, that, and the third. But yeah, I mean, you get stories of, these small humanoid creatures in dense forests, in even Puerto Rico, you know what I mean? Like all these different places, they have areas where they tell you like, at night they don't go over in that area because that's when these things come out,
Yikes. Yeah, I don't know too much about that. I see where Admiral Byrd got pulled up.
And I know a lot of... You can look up Agartha. That's a good thing to look up.
What is it? Do you know about...
Agartha. Agartha. Right there. You see it when you scrolled up?
Agartha?
Yeah, that's it depends on how we're gonna do this format, guys, but if we're just gonna shout out random stuff, then it's gonna be harder to come with bomb ass videos. But I got videos that cover everything you could think of, but I just need time to get them together and get them to vault.
A lot of those videos are like an hour and 2 hour long, so we have to find ways to condense it down to like 2 to 5 minute, 10-minute videos so that we can go over them. I don't know, unless you guys are down for some like long format content, but it depends on how we decide to do it. Shout out to Jay Kills in the chat. Big A is here. Ronnie Lido. Big A says, a few months ago I woke up sure I was subjected to an NAL probe, but then remembered, oh, brother, I don't even know if I want to read the rest of this yet. Okay, I got you. All right, shout out to Escape Your Cubicle. ADG says the aliens had the Apple Vision Pro back in 1947. That's why everybody said they had big black eyes. Fact. Ooh, maybe that's what it was. Everybody was just wearing the Apple Vision Pros, the aliens. Okay, I got you guys. Y'all are just clowning around. You're not believers. We're checking the poll right here. It says 91% of the chat are believers, so we got a bunch of believers in here. Let's see. There's some more videos we could check out. Anything you guys want to check out in the chat, let me know. I got for days and days different events that happened that are interesting to look into. Even some that don't involve UFOs but are just paranormal. But
yeah, this one just happened like a week ago, I think, when you're about to show now.
See, when I looked up the Redfish, Florida one, this one popped up and I'd never seen it before. And then I looked at it and was like, "Whoa, this is wild! I hadn't seen
this.
Yeah, this is crazy."
It's going to be two smaller ships that go into the bigger ship from the bottom, and you're going to see the bay doors open at the bottom for it to go in. Great. Exactly, collecting fire. That's what I wanted to do. Like the video I sent you about the cube, one of them's from Secure Team 10. That's what collecting fire is talking about. And then the other video with the cube that I sent, they're both on YouTube, but I don't know the channels. And I mean, like he said, we kind of would have to sift through it a little because they may not just only talk about that one thing. But, you know, some of these videos are only like 15, 20 minutes, but it's 15, 20 minutes that we're watching one video. We don't know if you guys want to do it like that.
Right, I'm not sure if people would be interested in doing it that way, but if you guys are interested in doing it that way, we can. Have watched a lot of Secure 10 videos. When I first started doing my own videos on my channel, he actually commented on a couple of my videos. Let's see, that was like early on when he started doing videos too. But I've got a couple of compilations where you can see multiple, I spelled it wrong, sorry, where you can see a bunch of different UFOs, and some that are really interesting to me is the stuff that gets caught up by NASA.
Yeah.
And I always highlight that stuff in my videos too. Let me find it real quick.
Like the latest on either Secure Team or Third Phase, I think Third Phase of Moon actually. It shows a really clear daytime UFO sighting that just happened a couple of days ago.
Nice.
Really
check
cool.
it out. Whoa. Secure Team 10. Oh, I was thinking Third Phase of Moon. That's the one that commented on my videos. You're talking about this one? Yeah, somebody sent me this one in a DM the other day. I don't even think it was you. It was somebody else too. Let's check it out real quick. Yeah. Music might be kind of loud. Here we go.
The sound. Was before, but not anymore. Look how clear this is.
Hey, what's up everyone? Tyler here with Secure Team, and welcome back to another video chock full of more UFO strangeness and or other unexplained phenomena happening around the world. So this first clip that I want to review right out of the gate that you just witnessed, well, it probably looks a little bit similar to something that you may have seen recently. And so to preface, this new piece of UFO footage that was uploaded to the web and is slowly gaining traction of what many are describing as a clear UFO that is in the shape of a metallic saucer or disc-shaped object making its way through the skies over San Clemente, California in April of this year. And you've probably noticed that this footage looks eerily similar to that totally mind-blowing and almost identical UFO footage captured from that private plane with the pilot and the model inside. They were flying over Colombia, featured in, I think it was my most recent YouTube video, of yet another metallic craft that has to bank suddenly to avoid hitting this private plane. If you remember that, you can definitely see the similarities to this new footage here over California, and so there is a striking resemblance here. And if the two objects are linked, well, it would certainly and obviously give validity to the first piece of footage, but all in all, from everything I've been watching lately, the sightings of these unidentified objects are ramping up. I mean, my guess is as good as yours, so tell me what you think about this footage down below. Amazing stuff, had to post it. Could it be a drone? A balloon? I don't know. This thing looks pretty thin. It looks like it's moving with purpose, and yet another, bizarre, mysterious clip. So put your comments and thoughts down below the video. And here, next, a viewer-submitted clip. This time we don't have a lot of information about it, but I could care a little bit less of the exact location as long as it's legit and really interesting video of something unnatural. And so it would appear we have that with this new clip, taken vertically, where we have a few people walking around some beautiful canyons and witness these two orbs sitting in the sky, and where at one point towards the end of the video, one of the orbs disappears, but the other suddenly jets off out into the distance at an extremely high rate of speed. So check this out.
Fuck. That's you. It's not a UFO. That's a UFO. Yeah, okay. Come pick us up then. It's not a UFO. That's a UFO. Dropping flares or some shit? Okay.
This one's hard to see at first, but then he's going to replay it in black and white.
Okay, so if you didn't see it, I'm going to show you some enhanced shots here, and where I've added some black and white filtering to more bring out these objects, but just watch, and, there's not much more I can say other than this also, if legit, and I haven't seen anything to the contrary, is yet another piece of hair.
Can we get some theories in the chat of what this is? What could possibly cause that? I can't think of anything.
Hair-raising footage depicting something I believe other than a drone or another man-made object. These things look like glowing balls of plasma, and the speed with which this object blasts off into the distance, it left me totally astonished.
Hi, it's Will from Buc.
That's my homie Will. He's gonna give you guys a shout out real quick. Actually, we're just gonna skip Will. Sorry, Will.
I'll try to get more information on this footage, and if I do, I will update you guys in the next video.
I don't know. I don't see how that could be a sun flare. I guess it could be a sun flare and then he turns the camera. The question is, if it goes like super slow, do they give us a super slow-mo? Is that going back behind the clouds whenever it runs off? Let's do it as super slow. Is it going behind the cloud? Because if not, then it's probably a glare from the camera. If it is going behind the cloud, then it's actually there. It looks like that first one went behind the cloud. I got it in super slow-mo, 0.25. I just want to see it take off.
It goes right over where your box is, though. That's why I couldn't see it a couple times. But yeah, we might see it a little better here.
Ooh, it's hard to tell. I mean, it looks like it's... Yeah, that went behind the cloud right there. That went behind that cloud. I don't know. Seems legit. Seems kind of legit.
It looked like it actually blew through the other last cloud. Like it created a...
My bad, I'm muted. Sorry about that. We don't have the chat, so I didn't know. But no, do you want to keep getting into the Secure Team 10 videos, or we can look into some other UFO sightings that, in particular, that you think are very convincing, or any that the chat want to check out? I wanted to check out what Shot by B2 was talking about
Yeah, let's go with that.
A UFO near the sun. Now, I remember seeing a couple pictures like this. I think this is one of them right here.
There's
Okay.
plenty of video, man. There's tons of video.
This might have video too, but if this is what I'm thinking of, it's pretty kind of crazy, and I want to hear some explanations about that. It's only 3 minutes long, so let's check this out.
In March 2012, astronomers monitoring images from a solar telescope in Earth's orbit see something ominous just to the west of the sun's south pole.
What the heck is that? It's Darth Vader's big vehicle, of course.
It looks like the Death Star from Star Wars.
I certainly hope it's not a Death Star.
Should make it a little louder.
Otherwise, we're in serious trouble.
Planet-sized tendrils appear to connect the globe of darkness to the sun's surface. This connection fuels speculation that the sinister sphere's presence near our star is no coincidence.
Why would anybody visit the sun? Well, it might be a good place to refuel.
The sun burns hydrogen, the perfect fuel for a starship.
Could spaceships be refueling by getting as close as possible to stars and sapping up that energy, and that's what's fueling them through space? That image certainly raises that possibility.
The sun puts out more power in a second than humanity has used in all of history.
But the 3 million degree temperatures in the sun's atmosphere would destroy any human technology.
We can't use the sun for a spacecraft, but that doesn't mean some very advanced alien race can't.
It would require some massive engineering advances. You don't want this spacecraft to vaporize.
It's not insane to think there is an unobtainium that is what you need to be able to build a Death Star that can roll.
Somebody said it just looks like solar flares, which it kind of does, but what they're talking about is the outline. If you see that outline of the sphere, that's why they keep saying the Death Star. See how there's an outline of an actual something right here? And I've seen other pictures that are not just videos from NASA where there's other objects that are close to the sun seemingly doing the exact same thing. And we get into some other NASA footage because NASA has some of the best UFO footage all around. If you look at, I can't remember what it's, STS-48. Actually, I think that's exactly what it's called. I don't know how I remember that. The STS-48 UFO, like I can't figure out what else it could possibly be. No, I think maybe STS is the tether, the whole tether thing incident where there was a lot of UFOs flying around the tether. But I've seen a really good explanation for that, so I don't necessarily believe the whole tether thing was legit. But I know I've got them in some of my videos. Here you go. All right, let's get into this NASA video. So this one's really interesting to me. And I feel like this is one of the best UFO videos around because what happens is you see these little balls, and I'll point to them right here, and it looks like they're just kind of nothing right now. What are they? They could be those spheres that we were talking about earlier, but here in a couple minutes, and less than a couple minutes, they're all going to form a perfect circle, and when they do, they all kind of light up, and then one of them appears right in the middle. So it's almost, it has to be like intelligent design, and tell me if I'm wrong. So you see how they're all kind of moving into place here in a second. You're going to see one in the middle right whenever they get into a perfect circle. One lights up right in the middle. And this is all video taped by NASA during one of their shuttle missions. Here you can see them going over the horizon too, so you can see how big it is. And then the one in the middle, just actually you can see it like float in here in a second. Like we got some Bob Lazar fans in here. I don't know if I believe Bob. See how it got to a perfect circle, and then the one lights up in the middle. What's going on there? You got any theories on that one, Dr. Strange? Is that one you've seen before?
No, I haven't seen it before.
That's one I always thought was really convincing because it was taken by NASA, and there's a couple of them taken by NASA.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, it always makes me wonder like what's going on with all that. Big A says, go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say above Bob Lazar, I prefer Stephen Greer, but I look at it like this: like over time, Bob Lazar kind of exposed himself, in different ways and aspects. But when you're talking in real time, especially in the 80s, like if you even knew who he was back in them days, if you were even into this topic back then, like I was, he was one of the only people who were able to explain the technologies and the things going on with the craft. You know, same thing with Stephen Greer. So, you know, it's deep, man. And I mean, Fro was touching on something earlier, and I was just saying in the chat that, you know, from their descriptions, and it makes logical sense. You know, it's not so much what we think. Like, you know, craft could be part biological and, you know, metallic. You know, and what they were describing was a situation where they were walking on board, and it's the same thing as like how our bodies are. You know, when you get cut, you know, Wolverine's healing factor is our healing factor just sped up. You know what I'm saying? So he was saying under a microscopic level, when you look at what your cells are doing, he was like, it basically looks like a bunch of spider legs, and they're trying to connect to each other. They're just constantly trying to meet each other. And he said when he walked on the craft, that's what was happening with the parts of the craft that was damaged. It was trying to repair itself.
Ooh,
so he was like, that's when he knew it was organic. You know what I'm saying? And then they've come across other crafts that, you know, react in an organic way, but then they can also change, you know, or be on a I mean, listen, if you do any research into nanotechnology, you'll understand what's involved. You know, it's about cellular manipulation. So they have craft that the wings can turn from a regular craft wings to hawk's wings. You know what I'm saying? With the flick of a switch. It's just code. It's DNA code.
Dang.
So
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that's how it is. I know that one thing that was really convincing about Lazar was he mentioned that element that they hadn't discovered yet, like 10 years before they actually discovered it, and then they discovered it, and it's kind of like, oh, maybe he did know what he was talking about a little bit.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's
Shout out to Cole T in the chat. It's talking about David Fravor's interview with Joe Rogan about the Tic Tac incident with the USS Nimitz. That's a huge one for sure. There's a little bit of video that goes along with that, and the people who are reporting it are like super incredible witnesses, and they're pretty sure about what they saw, and it's pretty hard to dispute. So I agree that's a good one. Not so much with Travis Walton though. So if you look at the Travis Walton story, you'll see that there was like a program that came out, a documentary that was like a fake well, not really a fake documentary, but a documentary that came out on the channel where he lived, on that local channel, like a few days before he like so-called disappeared. So it almost seems like he might have made that whole story up if you get deep into the proof. Here's another one. This one is by the Russian astronauts, where it looks like, what the heck is this? 4 lights flying in a line together. It almost seems like it's under intelligent control. Freud Comey says that's deep, the nanotechnology. Yeah, I haven't looked into nanotechnology. Paul says if you randomly disappear, we know why. You better check the Men in Black. The Men in Black got a hold of me. I was talking too much.
I was just gonna say, imagine, Fro. I heard about all of this before us having nanotechnology was a thing. So when I heard the explanation of what he saw, he couldn't refer to nanotechnology because it didn't even exist then. So this is not even like a new concept or new information. He's talking about seeing retrieved, crashed UFOs from the 80s. So the concept of cellular repair, you know, it makes logical sense, because all you got to do is look within yourself. And on the scientific level, again, once you look at how the repair works on that cellular level, what he described is what you will see. So again, that's the thing with me, is like how these people came in the door when they were uncensored and just unfiltered. That still holds weight with me versus them being in the spotlight for 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Like over time, yeah, they're probably going to say something wild, crazy, or whatever.
And what they're describing actually makes more sense now than it did back then, because if you look at AI technology, and we're starting to think like that's where we're headed anyway, a mix of biology and technology, and that's what it sounds like these ships that he saw were made out of. So it almost makes sense for those to go together. Eddie Rodriguez is talking about the Skinwalker Ranch stuff. I've been listening or keeping my eye out on that, and I've seen a couple of documentaries, but they never seem to find anything there. There was always the stories from what happened before, but when they try to research it, they never get any evidence, unfortunately. Cole T says, do you guys know about ancient astronaut theory? Aliens have been on the Earth for a very long time. Yeah, absolutely. At this point, I felt like everybody, it would almost be just kind of, to bring that up is almost like everybody already knows about all that stuff, right? But I could be wrong. I know Doctor Strange is all deep into it, but I mean, I wouldn't say convinced, but pretty convinced that the things like the Sphinx and the original pyramid, the Giza pyramid, were here before the ancient Egyptians, and that they found it because it was from a previous civilization that may have got wiped out during some type of cataclysm that happened. And if you look into all the ancient astronaut research, I mean, they got plenty of information about it. We can get into that kind of stuff too if you want. I was just watching a documentary last night on Petra, which is a crazy place. Do you know about Petra, Dr. Strange? It's like those giant buildings that they built right into the side of these mountains. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there's facial carvings, there's all types of things. There's extraterrestrials depicted, carved in there, as far as like even in Peru, the Nazca lines, you got so many things out there, man. It's crazy.
Puma Punku is one that blows my mind because, I mean, if somebody can tell me how they designed Puma Punku back in the day, and this is supposedly designed by a culture that didn't have any type of writing at the time either. They didn't have anything, but yet they were able to design these structures that piece into each other and have holes drilled into them somehow, like perfectly round holes. Yeah, it gets really wild whenever you get into the ancient astronaut theory and the ancient technology that they found, and you can't figure out how in the world it was that they were able to design these. So I'll pull up Puma Punku, and we could check this out. Are there any in particular, Dr. Strange, that you think whenever it comes to ancient alien theory or ancient astronaut theory, what do you think is the most convincing part of the whole theory?
The video you're showing on the screen right now, I know it's a little delay going on. I mean, that's a major one right there. I mean, you can see them depicted in old, tablets and stuff like that. Like in Mexico, they got the dude sitting up, and you can see he's cranking devices on a rocket ship. You know what I'm saying? They got old hieroglyphics with helicopters in them, UFOs themselves, and these things, the different vehicles that we have today. So, I mean, like I said, my folder that I've accumulated and been building ever since YouTube existed, has videos that were so sensitive, sent to me personally from communities and circles that I was running around with way back then before all these social groups and ways to connect with people. I'm talking underground, sending big ass files to each other through uTorrent and stuff like that, like stuff that's not even supposed to be on YouTube, but it is, but it's labeled 0249KKK99, something you'll never find. And, I have a whole plethora of videos, everything from, Apollo missions that were unannounced, them going inside of structures on the moon, bouncing around, and just like the regular NASA moon footage, you could either say, oh, this is fake or it's real. You know what I'm saying? But when you see these guys jumping around with no United States insignias on, it kind of just makes you think, like, what the hell? I got another one where it's they found pretty much like a mothership-sized craft on the moon. So on the one mission, they just did a flyby, and then on another joint mission with Russia, and China, we went back up there and went aboard the ship. And the ship was, heavily riddled with like all these holes, kind of like you see on the moon. But, the ship was made of like gold and all of these crazy elements. It was gold all around it. They found a woman on board. She was in like a cryostasis. So there's all types of crazy stuff we can get into, but it's kind of like, again, we could either do a microwave format where it's like we're just trying to pop in and out and get little satisfaction from seeing clips, or we could throw a video on where it's like, okay, we're letting this rock for 15, 20 minutes, but by the front and the end of it, you just like blown away, like, damn, come to a different understanding of things. So it just depends, but I have crazy stuff.
All right, well,
I know somebody was saying they wanted to get into the mer people, like mermen, mer women.
I mean, if you had any good proof of it, I want to check it out, but I got to see some proof of it. I'm not trying to watch a 15-minute documentary of them explaining why it's real when all I need is a video. Show me a 5-second video of the mermaid, and I'll believe you. Well, I might not believe you. I might believe you.
Yeah, my whole thing is preparation. You know what I'm saying? Because I have these folders and there's 500 videos in them amassed over 15 years. So I'm not going to be able to right now go into a folder and just scroll through and randomly find them and tell you where in the video you should go. But, you know, there's all types of topics. I'm just saying overall that we could tackle where, you know.
Yeah, I'm down for whatever. Anything's fine with me. All right, let me check the chat. Then Denny OC is talking about Coral Castle, which is a place in Florida where some guy was able to create, and I'll be able to pull up a video of it. He was able to create this amazing installation of buildings using coral that weigh a ton, and nobody really knows how he built it all by himself. But what he says and what he claims is that he knows the secrets of how they built the pyramids, and that's what he used to build his Coral Castle. So I don't know if that's legit. What do you think?
I don't know. I never heard. I've actually I have heard of that, and I know people that build pyramids. You know, made of copper, and different elements. So yeah, I mean, it's a science to it, but nothing's gonna replicate all of those blocks and the weight involved and the dimensions involved. It's saying on my screen, stream unavailable. I don't know if I don't know if they can hear us still or what.
I don't know. Are we live, y'all? Are we live? Oh, apparently they turned us off. Maybe the Men in Black are watching is what I'm hearing. Let me check my.
Right.
Your stream has been temporarily blocked because we detected copyrighted audio and video. It was copyright.
Wow.
Oh. All right, so I think we got to end the stream then. I guess we're done. I don't know what to do. I've never been copyrighted before. I guess you can only play certain videos, but we're doing commentary. We should be able to do commentary, right?
Weird, exactly. I know people that, channels that do this all the time.
Maybe it's this video in particular. Maybe if we turn it off, we'll get to go live again. Let us know if we're back live.
Yeah. You want to restart it?
I think it should start on its own. It should restart on its own. Let me check the chat.
I don't think, no. Not when they suspend the stream. You have to restart your stream.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
So it'd have to probably be a new link and everything.
Yeah, I don't want to do all that. Nobody's going to be watching a new link. All right, we'll just have to remember that for next time, I guess.